Good morning. I want to thank all of you, and particularly Governor Corbett, Lieutenant Governor Cawley, Council President Clark, and Chancellor Adamanti for being here today. You honor us with your presence. Chairman O'Connor, I deeply appreciate your kind words and the opportunity you and the Board of Trustees have bestowed on me today. Your confidence is energizing and heartwarming. I must admit that it is a bit daunting to find myself at the center of attention in such a distinguished assembly. I've not felt so many expectant eyes on me since my wedding more than 30 years ago. At that time, at least I had the comfort of knowing that all eyes were on my beautiful bride, Shiona. Shiona, would you please stand? Your warm welcome has been nothing short of phenomenal, and I thank each and every one of you for making it possible for Shiona and me to feel at home in such a short time. Finally, I want to welcome our children, Roddy, Ellie, Kinnear, and Matty. If your grandparents had lived long enough to be here today, their happiness for me would be exceeded only by their pride in you. This morning, I would like to begin by making a special mention of one individual who has been enormously helpful in my transition into the presidency, Chancellor Richard Englert. Dick's service to Temple University may be unique in the annals of this great institution. During nearly 4 decades at Temple, Dick has served in 9 different high-level administrative capacities, including Vice President for Administration, Interim Athletic Director, Dean, Provost, and Acting President. On behalf of Temple University, I would like to personally thank Dr. Englert for a lifetime of contributions. Dick, would you please stand and accept our thanks? Over the last several months, I've had the privilege of learning a great deal about Temple University. I've read about the university's history, talked with students and alumni, begun teaching a freshman class, had vibrant lunches with faculty, sought guidance from the trustees, and spoken with leaders in Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Tokyo, and beyond. It is clear that Temple University holds a special place in your hearts and minds. I have come to share your respect and affection for this extraordinary place. Today, in my role as president, I want to set out my view of where we are as a university, where higher education has positioned itself in the nation, and the actions Temple needs to take if we are to claim this, our rightful place as one of the nation's great urban universities. As part of my vision, I will lay out 6 commitments and ask you to join with me in fulfilling these commitments and ensuring Temple realizes its potential to benefit our students, our city, our Commonwealth, and indeed our world. To understand where we are headed, we must first build a common appreciation for our past. 130 years ago, North Philadelphia was in the grip of a worldwide economic slump known as the Long Depression. Nominal wages were half what they had been a decade earlier. 10 of the 38 U.S. states had declared bankruptcy in the previous decade. The unemployment rate stood at 14%. Post-Civil War Philadelphia was called the workshop of the world and played a preeminent role in America's economy. From Stetson hats to Phillies cigars to Diston saws, Philadelphia shipped an extraordinary array of quality products around the world. Indeed, just southwest of where you sit this morning was home to easily the largest railroad manufacturing plant in America, the Baldwin Locomotive Works. But by 1884, the Long Depression had brought railroad construction to a near standstill and had seriously slowed the production of the high-value goods made in the world's workshop. The talented craftsmen and women in the city's industries needed to learn the professional skills that would qualify them for employment beyond the foundry, or the mill, or the workshop. To meet this need, Reverend Russell Conwell, whose church sat 2 blocks behind me, founded what was to become Temple College, so the working class could study at night and improve the lives of themselves and their children. This great experiment, providing working people with access to higher education, was an immediate success. Enrollment at Temple College rose to more than 4,000 by the 1890s. It was in that era that this beautiful building was constructed, which at its opening was the largest Protestant church in America, seating nearly 5,000 people. You are sitting in what was the megachurch of Victorian America. Given my love of baseball, I also must note that Temple College was founded 1 year after the birth of the Phillies, who played quite near here. The Phillies are the oldest continuous one-name, one-city franchise in baseball. Temple and the Phillies, clearly, lots of great things were getting started at this end of Broad Street in the mid-1880s. The opening of Temple College coincided with the closing of America's western frontier. The U.S. Census of 1890 officially declared that the constantly moving frontier line that had dominated American life for a century had now been reached. At that time, historian Frederick Jackson Turner put forward the view that America's past was best understood by analyzing what had occurred on its western frontier. This morning, I would like to posit the view that America's future can best be seen by analyzing what is now occurring on its urban frontier. The greatest challenges and opportunities facing 21st century America are primarily playing out in urban settings. Public education, healthcare, the changing labor market, all of these issues and their potential solutions are the focus of discussion and planning every day in urban America. As I mentioned, if you had been sitting here 120 years ago, you would have been sitting in the megachurch of America. Today, you sit in what is still a 19th century building, but it has been transformed to be part of a 21st century university that must be focused on addressing the challenges and opportunities of the new urban frontier. Conwell's great experiment, at its core, an experiment in democracy, can succeed only if Temple University remains the place where the nation's middle class has access to quality, affordable education. Here on the urban frontier, we must reinvigorate the Conwell legacy in order to create success in our students, our city, our Commonwealth, and our nation. This morning, I will outline the 6 commitments that Temple must pursue if we are to address the challenges and realize the opportunities of this new frontier. Our first commitment must be to our students. Temple has had remarkable success in educating and healing all segments of society. In this process, though, the university must ensure that America's children do not have to incur suffocating student debt in order to earn a college degree. Institutions of higher education in this nation are threatening to price themselves out of the reach of all but the wealthiest Americans. Simply put, the most important problem facing higher education in America today is the level and distribution of student loan debt. If we don't immediately attack debt levels, they will seriously limit the capacity of the next generation to establish its independence. Graduates with high debt put off buying homes. They delay getting married and having families. They lack mobility and become overly cautious in taking risks. Think of it, the very goals that we send our children to college to achieve are being threatened by the costs of gaining their degrees. If we are to remain a university that reaches out to the middle class, the poor, the immigrant populations, we must remain affordable, and we must do all we can to help students manage their debt. Temple has already taken a pioneering role in keeping our costs low. We have always operated with affordability as an imperative. And once again, we are leading the nation in such efforts. In the last 2 years, our tuition has increased by an average of less than 1.5%. Few universities can make that claim. But we must do more. Soon, I will announce a landmark new affordability pact. It will be a guarantee of affordability that will be a model for higher education in the United States. The pact will create incentives for students to graduate in 4 years. The reason we need to do this is simple. The longer undergraduate students take to complete their degrees, the more years they accumulate debt and delay their entry into the higher-paying, college-educated segment of the workforce. We will focus our undergraduates on their graduation date from the first day of class. We will significantly invest in academic advising to help students get on track and stay on track. Classes will be taught when students need them. Our students must not keep their futures waiting. Our second commitment is to excellence in teaching. As we pursue affordability, we must also commit ourselves to be at the forefront of quality undergraduate instruction. In my 25-plus years in higher education, I have not witnessed a finer undergraduate education anywhere than is offered by Temple University. The quality of a Temple education will always rest, first and foremost, on the quality of its extraordinary faculty. I am very proud to be part of that tradition and will do my best to uphold it in my own teaching. The nature of a Temple education continues to evolve. We are more residential now than ever. That is making a positive impact on how students and faculty interact. In this new residential environment, we need to create excellent living and learning communities. Looking ahead, I can see a day when learning occurs in our residence halls and coffee shops as much as in our classrooms and research labs. Our faculty have been leaders in these initiatives. I have been impressed with their creativity and willingness to experiment. What our faculty need most is for the world to appreciate the extraordinary work they do. My commitment to you is to tell the Temple story at every opportunity so that the faculty of Temple University is universally known for its excellence. The work The world needs to know how great a Temple education really is. Our third commitment is to the city of Philadelphia, where the urban frontier is being explored every day. And let me state clearly what we know to be true. Temple is Philadelphia's public university. As a Philadelphia Inquirer columnist noted not long ago, as Temple goes, so goes Philadelphia. Temple already educates a large share of the city's business leaders, scientists, attorneys, artists, physicians, teachers, journalists, and government leaders. One of 7 college graduates in the Philadelphia region is a Temple alumnus. Temple's evolution into a national leader in public education is paralleled by Philadelphia's resurgence as a truly great city, a world capital. Philadelphia is the country's 5th largest city, with a history and future that are the envy of this nation. And thanks to great Philadelphia leaders, public and private, we are acting like a world capital. NBC didn't buy Comcast. Comcast bought NBC. That example is Temple's guide. Our founder, Russell Conwell, once said that to be great at all, one must be great here, now, in Philadelphia. Here, on America's new frontier, Temple University and the city of Philadelphia will work to be great together. Our commitment to the city is already deep and meaningful. Temple educates more low-income Pell Grant recipients than all of the other universities in Philadelphia combined. Temple University Health System is an indispensable provider of health care in this city. Philadelphia is the largest city or county in America without a public hospital. As a result, Temple University Health System serves more Medicaid patients than any other hospital in the Commonwealth. In fact, our hospital is among the largest non-governmental providers of indigent health care in America. Our commitment to Philadelphia and the Commonwealth is clear. In partnership with federal, state, and local government, Temple will share its greatest strengths, the expertise, creativity, and energy of our faculty, researchers, and students to address the 2 perennial problems on this new urban frontier: K-12 education and indigent health care. Temple's commitment to its students is also clear. We will not use your tuition dollars, too much of which you must borrow, to fund these initiatives. Funding indigent health care is the appropriate responsibility of our federal, state, and local governments. Our fourth commitment revolves around research that changes lives. In tomorrow's urbanized, diverse, resource-challenged environment, Temple's status as Philadelphia's public university requires it to play an even more important role in the city's economy through its research. As a national research university, Temple must build its capacity to conduct pioneering research. We must then transfer these discoveries to the marketplace as never before. We already provide research that touches people's lives in concrete and perhaps unexpected ways. When the Philadelphia Police Department needs research to ensure its officers are patrolling effectively, it comes to Temple University. Safer neighborhoods make stronger economic communities. When disadvantaged communities need help in preventing young people from becoming early victims of diabetes, they look to Temple. Research at Temple makes improved therapies available to the citizens of Philadelphia and the Commonwealth well before they are benefiting patients elsewhere. When we need to understand how infants learn or why teenagers make life-threatening decisions, Temple researchers explain these behaviors. In return, our K-12 educators can use this research to ensure our schools are stronger. These are only a few examples of the pioneering research conducted here every day. Temple is committed to creating new knowledge that reaches across disciplines because these complex problems do not recognize academic boundaries. A recent University Task Force report identifies several interdisciplinary directions in which Temple is well placed going forward: urban ecology and sustainability, genetics and cancer, bioengineering and biomaterials, among others. I am pleased to announce that the Temple University Board of Trustees has allocated $50 million over 5 years to these new academic initiatives, the largest ever investment in Temple's academic enterprise. This investment will be used to attract faculty in promising areas, build new capacity, and expand the impact of our scholarship. I want to thank our trustees for their vote of confidence. This investment, coupled with the expertise of our faculty, researchers, and students, is a dynamic combination. The people of this city and this Commonwealth will lead better lives because of Temple research. Our fifth commitment is to nothing less than a clear definition of what Temple's student body should be. In short, Temple's student population will be diverse and international. Living here on the urban frontier allows Temple to seamlessly embrace its commitment to the power of diversity. Homogeneity is a death sentence in the modern world. Here at Temple, diversity is not a program, it's a way of life in every sense of the word. More than 40% of all Temple students identify themselves as non-white. Our students represent the races, languages, religions, and cultures of the world. We have an open and proud LGBT community. When conflicts arise, as they will when you bring so many divergent views together, we peacefully debate these conflicts. Those debates are sometimes passionate, but always done with respect for the differences that enrich our university. Temple's diversity includes an important international component. As we look toward the future, our graduates will be living and working in a global environment. To ensure their success, they need global literacy. Temple is well positioned to provide such literacy because our reach already extends far beyond North Broad Street. Our campuses in Rome and Tokyo ensure that the sun never sets on Temple University. In addition, we have education partnerships with more than 100 institutions around the world in 38 different countries. This year, there are more than 2,500 international students studying at Temple from 110 countries. Temple's tea may be cherry red, but today it includes the color from every major nation's flag. Our sixth and final commitment is to advance innovation and entrepreneurship across the entire university. I spoke earlier of the pioneering spirit. America's earliest pioneers set out from Philadelphia to find their place on the frontier. They took with them the ethos of this region, an ethos built around hard work and independence. Today's pioneers are drawn to Philadelphia and to Temple to find their place on the new frontier. It is here that they adopt the ethos of hard work and independence. At this university, we call that being Temple made. The digital world is defined by a rapid pace of change. If pioneers on the new urban frontier are to be successful over any substantial period of time, we must help them couple their hard work and independence with an entrepreneurial spirit. For too long, that spirit has been seen as the domain of the business schools. We must expand that view. Entrepreneurship and innovation must be valued in every discipline across our campus. We need to encourage opportunities in each of our schools, colleges, and centers for students to become creative problem solvers. Our students must learn to adapt to constant change and find success in fields that have not yet been invented. Ideally, our students will kickstart their futures before they graduate. You've heard me say that we must encourage our students to focus on their graduation date from the first day of class. There's a corollary to that. Temple must prepare our students to become real-world ready before their last day of class. Temple students need to feel empowered to take charge of their destinies. Temple should educate innovators across the university so that our future alumni remain flexible and productive in a fast-paced, rapidly changing world. I believe the success of our entrepreneurial alumni will have an impact on their lives and on their towns and schools, their neighborhoods and families. The entrepreneurial spirit of our alumni will, to borrow a phrase from Thomas Jefferson, advance the happiness of mankind. These, then, are the 6 commitments I make to you as Temple's 10th president. To show the world how higher education can be both affordable and accessible. To ensure that the world is aware that excellent teaching is the hallmark of Temple University. to bring our intellectual resources to bear on behalf of this great city and the Commonwealth, so that Philadelphia and Temple continue their roles as national leaders. To build a learning community that is diverse and international. To conduct research that transforms lives here in Philadelphia and around the world. To be a leader in encouraging entrepreneurship across all disciplines, so that Temple students will create their own success regardless of the economic conditions. I make these commitments to you as the president of Temple University, but they are also deeply personal because of my own experience. When I was 17 years old, the generosity of people I will never know created an all-expense-paid scholarship for a resident of Illinois to attend college. These unknown benefactors profoundly changed my life and the eventual lives of my children and grandchildren. No one in my family had ever gone to college, much less one that was 1,000 miles away. My father was the 5th generation of a pioneer family that settled in central Illinois in the 1830s. The only time in my life that I saw tears in my father's eyes was the day he helped me lift my suitcase onto the train for my trip to college. I was blind that day to what my father could see. Like his forebearers, I was leaving behind the established ways that our family had known for nearly 150 years. The outstanding education that I received the next 4 years have carried me every day since. More importantly, it put my children on paths to pursue their dreams as university professors, physicians, and wherever else their talents and desires lead them. That is the impact of a college education. As mathematician and philosopher Alfred North Whitehead said, "The task of a university is the creation of the future." Today, I ask you to join me, students, faculty, staff, trustees, alumni, and all who hold Temple dear. Join me here, now, in fulfilling Temple's commitments and creating a future that is full of promise on this urban frontier. Thank you very much.